Hello and welcome back to our Business Tips. Michael Lapete here to talk to you about an important topic of what remittances and returns you have to make as a business, specifically a corporation is what we're focused on. Now, of course, we know personally we have the personal tax return, but a corporation also, of course, has corporate tax returns. So in Canada, we have a federal return to the federal government, and we also have provincial returns, so depending what province you are, a return that also has to go to the province potentially, unless you are maybe exempt. Now, we want to make sure that we file that on time, and the corporate tax returns, the T2 tax returns, are due 6 months after the year end, but the taxes that you owe may be due 3 months after. So even though the T2 is due 6 months after, the taxes that you would owe, the actual money that you're going to pay, is due 3 months after. Now, GST, depending if you do quarterly or annually, is depending when it's due. If you do quarterly or monthly, it's typically going to be the month after that quarter, the month after that month, it's going to be due. If you do annually, it's probably going to be due 3 months after the fiscal year end of the GST. Of course, we also have the year end that goes along with the T2, so we want to make sure our financial statements, because you might have reporting requirements to your bank, your lenders, and so forth, that your financial statements. We also have an annual return that we got to do to make sure the corporate stays registered at the registry every year, like renewing your vehicle registration. We also may have T-slip filings, T3s, T4s, T5s, typical T4s and T5s with corporations is what you're going to have. You may have GST, as we mentioned. Now, T-slips are due at the end of February every year, just so you know, to make it clear, and annual returns are typically due every year on the corporation cycle of where it incorporated. Just a side note on sole proprietors, because there are some things you have to do. As a sole proprietor, you've got to file a T2125 as part of your T1 personal income tax return, and that makes your income tax return due later if you're a sole proprietor, June 15th instead of the normal April 30th. However, the taxes and the money you pay is due April 30th, even though the filing date is June 15th, similar to the corporate that we talked about, and we want to avoid penalty and interest. Very important. One last little thing, make sure you're always putting aside money for your taxes and your GST, 15, 20%, whatever it may be, putting aside money for those taxes, because it's not always just about filing, but also hopefully paying on time. If you got any questions, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being a part of our Business Tips, and we'll see you in the next video.